Isang matahimik na araw po ngayon sa inyo. At sana po manatiling ganun at hindi tayo mayanig ng groundbreaking ceremony or inauguration ng Petro. To Secretary Fortunato Boy T. de la Peña, to Undersecretary Dennis Villorente of the Department of Information and Communications Technology, Undersecretary Jose Luis Alano, Undersecretary of the National Coast Watch Center Secretariat, Dr. Joel Marciano, the Director of the Advanced Science and Technology Institute of the Department of Science and Technology, to our Assistant Regional Director, Eduardo Tesorero of DOST-STII Region 11, to the Provincial Director of the Science and Technology Center of Davao, Vicente Dagangon, to the Assistant Director General of the National Security Council, Maria Victoria Castro, the Regional Director of the Department of Information and Communications Technology, Mindanao Cluster 3, Renato, to the President of the University of Southeastern Philippines, Madam Lourdes Generalao, to the Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Mindanao, Larry Digal, and my good friend, Director Manuel Luis Ochotorena, Regional Director of the Office of Civil Defense, to all the guests, media personnel, fellow workers in government, good morning. Today we inaugurate the ground receiving station here in the southernmost part of the country, the Davao Ground Receiving Station. This ground receiving station has a 7.3 meter satellite tracking antenna, the largest for Earth observation in the Philippines. This GRS, or ground receiving station, will act as a safety net for the Pedro Center, providing redundancy in the event of disasters in Metro Manila, and this GRS will also receive data from the Novasar satellite, which features simultaneous radar imaging with automatic identification system data for maritime surveillance and monitoring. That is the essence of the ground receiving station. But let me just highlight why we have this and take you back what happened. The resurgence of space science and technology in the country really contributes towards providing scientific solutions for the public benefit. This is very timely. In fact, we are in the ground zero or near the ground zero of the recent disasters. The solution for public benefit was what we had in mind when we deployed our very first Earth-observing satellite in space, the Diwata-1, in 2016. Shortly after that, we established the Philippine Earth Data Resource and Observation Center, or simply the Pedro Center. By the way, before I continue, let me just caution you that DOST is so fond of developing acronyms so that you can remember what projects we have. So this Pedro Center gives us the capability to directly receive satellite data. The Pedro Center's ground receiving stations are located at the DOST-STII's office in Quezon City and today here in the CAAP, Davao. The facility being the largest in the country, as I have already mentioned. And a third is currently being put up in Iloilo. As of today, we have access to several satellites equipped with features that enable a wide spectrum of data for a variety of purposes and applications. These data are especially useful in cases of large-scale calamities where we have to turn to satellite images to get an immediate assessment or the bird's eye view of what happened on the damages so that we can help in rescue, recovery, and rehabilitation missions. For example, as you know, the Cotabato province and the surrounding provinces like Davao del Sur, Sultan Kudarat, and even several of the provinces of the Davao region including Davao City, have been affected by a series of strong earthquake events. Hindi po totoo na ako ay mag-o-opening dahil po sa lindol. At hindi na schedule yung lindol dahil po sa opening ito. Nagkataon lang po. A magnitude 6.3 earthquake occurred last October 16 in the evening, and this devastated many towns and cities. This earthquake transferred the stress to a neighboring place and triggered a magnitude 6.6 earthquake, almost from the same fault. And because the stress of that fault was transferred to the other fault, called Makilala Fault, then another strong earthquake event occurred 2 days after that, on October 31, with a magnitude of 6.5. Houses and buildings and lands, which were previously shaken by the first two, really got more damage during the third event, and even during the second event. This series of events affected thousands of individuals, more than 30,000, and destroyed many houses and buildings. And this is compounded by the presence of many cracks, fissures, or full-blown landslide in many slopes of the Cotabato area and the Valdez Sur, especially in the Makilala area. In response to this series of earthquake events, the Department of Science and Technology, through DOST-STII and its various satellite-related projects, acquired before and after images of the landslides in Makilala, in Cotabato, highlighted buildings affected by the landslides, and sent these images to the regional office of DOST-STII here in Region 11 and DOST-Philippines, thus contributing to disaster risk reduction and management operations. The images provided will be used to map geologic impacts on the area and risk assessment of the structures. And this will provide geoscientists where to focus on after getting the bird's eye view. This technology will also be helpful in monitoring typhoons and its aftermath or consequences like floods and landslides, so that we can have a better impact assessment to guide responses by the disaster managers at the regional, provincial, and local level, and for updating hazard maps, and especially the future land use of the communities. Aside from aiding the local government and national agencies during times of disasters, the different maps created by these space technology efforts by DOST, and also through the guidance of the DOST-STII's Remote Sensing and Data Science Help Desk under the DATOS project, there are many things that can be done. For example, to determine the health of vegetation on land, good for agriculture. Detect objects such as fish pens and trees, so that we can also monitor what's going on with our environment. We observe road networks, monitor progress of infrastructure construction, monitor the greening program of government. So beware, we have eyes on the sky to monitor what other government agencies are doing. And there are many other similar things. Let's mention the possible use of the synthetic aperture radar or SAR technology for identifying the ships, boats, so that we will have a very good maritime surveillance and monitoring for our national security. Space technology indeed in the country is picking up speed in the last few years thanks to the bold steps the government has taken. Subsequently, we have hit another milestone when Congress passed into law the Philippine Space Act, ensuring the sustainability and growth of our current efforts in space. Moving forward, we hope to bring the value of space closer to the Filipino people, developing applications that will benefit and improve their quality of life. Before I end, I'd like to thank the hardworking staff of DOST-STII and all of you for making this momentous day very important to our country's history and our country's development. Maraming pong salamat sa inyong lahat. Magandang umaga po.